What's up, guys? Welcome to Box to Box Football. And yeah, we're back again, and we're coming with something different today. And I just want to talk about my good old friend Romelu Lukaku. Now, I've been a big fan of him for a long time, and he's had spells with Chelsea, Everton, and Man United, and it seems like he's really found his feet right now in Inter Milan, and shown the promise that he's had for so many years. I want to pose the question that is he the best striker in the world? But I just want to first talk about the breakdown of his career and how his move to Inter has kind of changed him as a player overall. And Jack, since you are like a big Serie A fan and you do follow the league heavily, could you tell me what is going on in this time?
Um, one thing I will say is I think Lukaku has learned a very difficult lesson from his time at Man United to now his time at Inter. And I think a lot of things have come together for him at the right time. The biggest change, I'd be very interested to see what weight he was at Man United and what weight he is now at Inter. Now, understand, none of it is fat. None of it is fat. Lukaku was working out like a crazy person while at Man United because he wanted to be this kind of physical freak, which he still is. But it seems to me at Inter, he's really kind of leaned down a little bit and cut quite a lot of weight. And now he's so much faster, so much more agile and dynamic. I think that, which suits his, style of play beautifully, is married with the fact now that he's playing with a coach. I think when Antonio Conte, hangs up his tie from being a manager, he might tell you that his favorite all-time player to coach was Romelu Lukaku. Seriously, that's the level we're talking about here. And I know we're going to get into it in the future of how well Inter are playing, but the way Inter are playing right now is fully suiting Romelu Lukaku. He's invested in the project. He's working harder than ever. And he's the most valuable player on that team. And it's a very good team, which I predicted would win Serie A this year. And hopefully it looks like that's going to be happening. But I just think that there are a few parts of his game or parts of his training that were missing while he was in the Premier League. And it's not to say he wasn't good. He's always been good. But I think he's just made that step over the past 6 months or so from good to great. And he's in that upper echelon of guys now.
I feel with Lukaku, the first thing that came to mind was when I think it was the summer 2018 when he decided to make the move to Manchester United. I always felt that he made the wrong move. I felt Chelsea was the team that he should have signed because Conte was there, and I just felt overall, especially with the previous striker that Chelsea had in Didier Drogba, that he would have fit the mold of a Chelsea team. He didn't. He went to Manchester United, and at times he was a bit of a meme. People were posting videos of his touch at times, his step overs. He looked a bit as you said, it wasn't fat. He looked really. He looked like Vince McMahon was going to sign him for WWE.
Right.
he looked like that, and he just at Manchester United, he just felt like the odd man out. And especially when Oli came in and the style he wanted to play with the counter-attacking football of quick, fast players on the break, Lukaku did not fit that mold, and he is a player that at his best, he needs to know that he is the best player. He is the top guy there.
Yep.
And also is a number one striker. He wasn't that at Manchester United. And he made a self-conscious move to leave Manchester United, not only leave Manchester United, but leave England to go to Serie A. A league that it might not be for right now the most glamorous league, but defensively is the hardest. And a lot of strikers find hard. Like Cristiano Ronaldo said it, Serie A is the hardest league to score goals in. And if the greatest striker of all time says that, it's difficult. Now, Lukaku came in first season, 34 goals. That was better than Brazilian Ronaldo's record. The first season, so he's able to break that record, and he was brilliant. Of course, we know what happened in the UEFA Cup. In the Europa League final. And the question with him was that can Lukaku now take the next step this season? And for me, he has overall. Last season, he was good and at times great. This season, he's on that great mode. He's not only winning games, but he's winning big games for them. The biggest criticism for Lukaku, especially, we know we can get on to his touch, but it was lack of killer instinct in big games.
Right.
Could he do it when it mattered most? Now that you had a game against AC Milan, it wasn't like, this is not like a fourth place game. This is going for the title. And
Oh yeah,
Lukaku comes up trump bigger than ever. And to me, it's not always about, for a striker, the goals you score. I look at what you contribute overall. And when he takes that ball and knocks it past the defender, when I mean goes, he goes. And
yeah.
his ability, he messed up the first time, it was cut out, but his ability to take it back and the quality of ball that came in there, that was David Beckham at his best. It shows a player that all round is not just a good player, but now he's becoming a great player. Who knew that Lukaku had this type of technical ability? Again, I've always believed in his technical ability, but a lot of people would say that technically he's not that great. He's just big and strong. But guys, he's showing you the quality he's always had, and it's just refreshing to see. And it's refreshing to see that a manager showed a lot of faith in the guy, and he's showing it back. Like, dream is Lukaku. It just is, and he's
Yeah.
showing the ability that like he's always had as a player, and it's working. And like you said, he's the most valuable player for Inter. Yes, he is. Not only he's the most valuable, but he's the best. I think Inter Milan has had 3 or 4 penalties this year. Lukaku scored all of them, but when Lukaku's not on the pitch and someone else is taking it, they always miss. So it just shows you, like, not only like is he contributing in play, but set pieces and all that type of stuff. He's really, really becoming the guy.
So here's what I'll say, just kind of open up the debate a little bit more. If we're trying to tier strikers right now, I think that top tier, I think there's probably 4 names. Now those 4 names for me are Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, Robert Lewandowski, and Romelu Lukaku. Now, personally,
would you put Benzema in there too? Karim Benzema.
I wouldn't. And maybe that's a little harsh, but I think it's because of how much respect I have on the 4 names that I just said there.
I personally would. I think last season he was insane. So I would. They would be in the top 5.
Let's throw him in there for argument's sake. I haven't got a problem with that. So within those 5 names, for me personally, I think Lewandowski and Kane are just a cut above the rest. Personally, I think Lukaku is getting the rub at the moment of finally being in a system that can totally utilize his skill set. Now, this season, he's averaging like a goal contribution a game. That's unreal. A goal or an assist per game. Like, that's unbelievable. But he is playing on the same side as somebody like Achraf Hakimi. He's playing with that solid back 4, that strong midfield, good rotation, a strike partner who he gels very, very well with. It's not to say that I don't think Lukaku can't be better than Harry Kane, can't be better than Robert Lewandowski. I just wonder, in a different scenario, is he going to provide you the same thing? I think he's currently getting the rub of being in this fantastic Conte system, which suits him beautifully.
But the argument I want to make, we had a interesting video on the best player in the world, and you were talking about how on current form, Harry Kane was the best player in the world. You look at current form, what Lukaku's doing, would you not put him over your Lewandowskis and your Harry Kanes? Because Harry Kane technically in the past few weeks have gone off the ball. Again, he was injured and all that type of stuff, but hasn't been that amazing. Obviously, Haller has been great. Benzema has been out for a bit. Lewandowski is still scoring at a high level. But if you're talking about right now, you place everyone down and who's the hottest one, you've got to say Lukaku.
Yeah, I think at the moment, honestly, I can't really disagree with you from that standpoint if we're just kind of doing it on current form. But I just think, and I guess if that's where you're coming from, just like over the last couple of months or whatever, I think you're probably right. He's had some real impressive showings, and it's not just goals, it's not just assists. Anybody, I'm telling you, next time Inter Milan have a big game, be that cup football, domestic football, European football, whatever, just watch Romelu Lukaku. Watch when a set piece is coming up, either whether he's defending or whether he's attacking. Look at him talking to everybody. When a pass is misplaced, when somebody's not closing down, he's developing these kind of leadership characteristics because he has the confidence now, which Conte and his teammates have given him, and he's just going to go from strength to strength. James, I think that I really like Lautaro Martinez. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he is, he's kind of a slightly faster, maybe less nimble, but a faster version of somebody like Aguero. I really think he's that good. At this point, no one's touching Lukaku. They're much faster going to sell Martinez than they're going to sell Lukaku, 100%.
but I feel like you look at the Inter Milan team. Look, Martinez and Sanchez are quite similar in their approach. And like when they play together, it doesn't seem to quite stick for Inter Milan. Especially when I see them both play, they don't seem to pick up the points that like they do. But with Lukaku there, his presence he doesn't sometimes even have to play well. It's just his overall presence just seems to work right now. You see like that nice exchange him and Chiellini had in the like Juventus game, and it just shows you that he has the respect of a lot of defenders now, even like the best in Serie A. And look, Chiellini is not no slouch.
No, I mean, James, game recognized game, right? That's always kind of an old an old saying that people like to stick to, with, I would say, very, very good reason. I'm just looking at a few kind of more recent Bayern Munich games just to see if Lewandowski's in with a shout here. But I'm also looking at the
Lewandowski always put up numbers. He was just he's just like the Bundesliga is his.
I'm looking, I mean, and also, James, I'm looking at the quality of opposition he's scoring against, not quite up to the level at this point of Lukaku. So I've got to say, I'll probably agree with you. I mean, if you're asking me to pick over the last, couple of months, I'd say you're probably right. It probably is Lukaku on current form.
And also, I'm talking about the domestically mainly. I'm not talking about because Champions League, again, Lukaku, Lewandowski overall is probably still the best, but domestically, is Jack was making an argument domestically. Gotta say Lukaku.
Well, no, but James, I think the point about the domestic argument is you don't get kicked out of your league. Romelu Lukaku can't play goalkeeper, back four, midfield five, and striker, and manage the team and coach the team and be the subs and everything. If your team gets kicked out, it's not strictly the player's fault. You want to make sure that you're measuring players against similar levels. And no, I've got to be honest, I probably end up agreeing with you. My question, I guess, would be, over the course of a season, do you think Lukaku would still be your number one striker, or do you think it might be another name?
Again, if I take my coach's head on, as an overall complete striker, I think Lewandowski's the best one. Kane has shown me like a way of playing, and I feel like if I have to play Kane, I need players around him for him to be effective. He's a brilliant player, but Kane doesn't run in behind. If I want a striker that's going to run in behind, can hold up the ball and also run in behind, I think I'm going to pick Lukaku over Kane. But Kane is probably overall a better goal scorer than
He'll take more of his chances, right?
But depending on like the style I want to play, I'll probably go for Lukaku. If I want to play on a counter attack and stretch teams out, I'm gonna go for Lukaku.
My only negative and only criticism, I think, is if he's put in a situation where he isn't given the opportunity to succeed and you show his skills. And he wasn't even that much of a failure at Manchester United. It was like
he wasn't.
A goal every other game, chipped in with a couple of assists, few important moments here and there. Like you say, he wasn't always kind of the first choice guy there. He like you say, the odd man out, I think, really sticks to it. My one worry with somebody like Lukaku is if he does feel that way and you're not using his skill set. We joke about it, but the first touch, back to goal stuff, striker by himself. I don't know if he fully has that role without the cast around him to help him benefit what his skill set is.
I feel like there was this crazy story, like he talking about his first ever session. He went on a podcast with Josh Hart, a player for the New Orleans Pelicans, and he talked about his first session with Inter Milan and how Conte had a drill where he was just playing with his back towards goal all the time, and every time he messed up. Like the first time he had one mistake, the ball bounced off him. Conte stopped the whole session in front of everyone, was grilling him, and I just feel like the coaching that he's getting is really coming to his own right now, and I feel like Lukaku's able to play with his back towards goal.
100%, and I think what we've seen as well is, and James, you and I have talked about this a little bit recently. There's a certain thing at this point in time where certain players like the arm round them, certain players like to be told off. It's becoming a lot more weighted towards players liking the arm round them, liking to be asked if they're okay. Lukaku's not that guy. Lukaku likes to get called out. He's a warrior. He's gonna, if you're tough on him, you're gonna get the best out of him. Pressure makes diamonds. Cream rises to the top. There's all that kind of stuff going on for Lukaku at the moment.
But guys, yeah, again, you might think that what are we talking about here? Lukaku, best striker in the world based on current form. I would say so, but tell me what you think. Is he the best? Kane? Kane, Rob Lewandowski, Benzema. Comments down below. Let us know, guys. Thank you for watching. This is Box to Box Football, and we will see you next time.